Good afternoon. Today is October 17th, 2023, and this is the Organizational Council meeting for the Town of Rocky Mountain House, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. Are there any items to add or delete from the organizational meeting agenda? Seeing none, would someone like to make a motion? Councillor Caprero?
I will make a motion to adopt the agenda for the October 17th, 2023 organizational meeting.
Thank you very much. All in favor of that motion? And opposed? And that's carried. So the first item on our agenda is the seating arrangements, to approve the seating arrangements for Town Council. So I feel very comfortable with the seating arrangements as they are right now, as Councillor Caprero will be the next Deputy Mayor, and Councillor Boniface is the current Deputy Mayor for the remainder of this month. Is there any other comments about the seating arrangement? So could I have a motion to accept? Councillor Boniface.
I'll make the motion to accept the seating arrangement as currently standing.
Thank you very much. All in favor of that motion and opposed, and that's carried. So appointment of council to committees. So we're at 4.1. On here it says council terms and references summary of 2023. So if everybody has that in front of them. Is there any questions with that information that's there presented before us? So I just wanted to point out that the Rocky Clearwater Intermunicipal Collaboration Committee, the ICC or ICF, clearly has in their terms of reference that the mayor or a designate for 1-year term, October to October. And so I would like to have myself put back on that committee. I think the designate is if the mayor so chooses, not that we have a vote on if the mayor's on there. So I just wanted to point that out, that it is in the terms of reference under that. Is there any other comments about the terms of reference? Councillor Hutchinson.
Just on that note, I believe the MGA had changed that, was it a year ago, last year? Maybe Mr. Kraus had more details on that? Did the MGA remove? There was something about the mayor's positions?
Yeah, so previously in the MGA, the mayor was ex officio on town committees. That is no longer in the MGA. And that was June 2 years ago.
Yeah. So ex officio means that I'm automatically on every
Understand that.
board, but our terms of reference clearly say that. So I just wanted to point that out. I shouldn't have to go to the Reeve to find out what's happening on ICC. So if everyone's satisfied with the terms of reference and the review of council committees, now the other one I wanted to review is, it is on our committee appointments, but I don't see it, I didn't see it, and I'm going to look again, on the, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the airport committee. Mr. Kraus, we no longer have an airport committee now, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Worship. So it was abolished with the signing of the new agreement.
Okay, so it's still on our committee appointments sheet, it's the second one down, but it's not in the terms of reference. So if I could have that removed for our final documents.
Sorry, that's the 2022-2023.
Okay,
So we have a new blank one for this year.
okay, so it will be removed off of there?
I believe Tiffany's already removed that one off there.
Okay, so I'm only going by what I have, I don't know what's gonna be. So the other one that I think we should talk about today is the Youth Advisory Council. It's on the bottom of that same page. And the terms of reference are still there, I believe. Yes, they are. So unfortunately, we haven't had any buy-in from the youth in our community. And I'm just wondering if that needs to be, like, we could keep it in our terms of reference, but I'm gonna just ask if we've, Mr. Kraus to Ms. Breeze, if we've received any interest in that committee for this year.
So the only ongoing interest we've received is from Jennifer, who was one of the committee members in the past.
Okay, so we have up to 10 positions available.
I believe 8.
8
but we
positions
need a
available.
minimum of, it's either 3 or 5, so I'm gonna say 5 because of 8 committee members would be minimum 5.
And we only have one application.
Yes.
And I see Counselor Phillips, did you want to discuss that maybe, yeah?
Yes, just, I'll discuss that and one other thing as well. So I think for the youth committee, obviously we don't have any, other than one member that's interested in that, that maybe we just put it on hold for another year and just see how that progresses next year. Maybe there's an uptake next year and we can revive that program. The other question I have is for Mr. Kraus on, just in reference to your question on the ICC.
Yes.
When it says mayor or designate, how does that work when it says both that?
That would be a council decision.
Okay, so we're going to leave the Youth Advisory Council in the terms of reference, but we will not proceed forward with that. So then, would we also then look at the budget for the scholarship that's on there and take that off the budget for the year? Mr. Kraus, do you think we should leave it on or take it off? Because we're not going to be doing anything with that budget. We could put that money into something different rather than into reserves.
Yeah, and that would be a discussion with council at budget time if they want to shift that money to another.
Okay, so could you
section.
make a note to have that
Yes.
available for us to
Yep.
discuss? Thank you very much. And then I had a couple, did we ever have a school resource officer steering committee meeting in the last year?
Your worship, no, so those are arranged by the Wild Rose School Division.
Okay.
They did not call one last year. I know I do have a administrative meeting with the school division and Clearwater County in the next couple of weeks on the school resource officer program.
Okay. Okay, now I was just curious if that was still like an ongoing, like, thing, right? Because the airport rate is
That
off
agreement
and-
still exists, yes.
Yeah, that still exists, okay. And then the anti-racism task force, that's still, and we haven't had that meeting yet either, right?
No, your worship, we reached out quite a few months ago to arrange a meeting and we have not received a response from the partners. But that committee still exists. It's still a committee adopted by council.
And on that committee, is there budget implications to that either?
The only budget implications would be the per diem of council members on it and travel.
Okay,
So, which would be covered in your budget already, so.
okay. Okay, does anybody else have any questions or concerns over the terms of reference of the intermunicipal committees? So then, I'm looking for a motion to accept the terms of reference. Is that how we proceed forward, Mr. Kraus?
So we accept the terms of reference and then we'll be going to
Okay.
each committee for appointment.
Someone like to make that motion? Counselor Boniface.
I will make the motion to accept the terms of reference as presented.
Thank you very much. All in favor of that motion? And no opposed, and that's carried. So moving forward into the so that was the terms of reference. Do we have to do anything for the committee appointments that was existing now? It's just has a list as an attachment, but we can move to 4.2. Yeah. So 4.21 is the Clearwater Regional FCSS Board. And on that committee right now, I believe is Counselor Phillips. And that's one of the committees that there's a lot of training involved with that. And so they would prefer to keep the same person on that committee, is that correct? And did you want to
Yes,
remain?
I will-
Yes.
I would be happy to leave my name on for the FCSS committee.
Okay. And thank you. Does anybody else have any questions or comments about that board? Counselor Hutchinson, did you want to remain on that board, or is there someone else that maybe, if you're like the alternate, you're able to attend the meetings? Is that correct or not correct?
You can attend the meetings, you just have a non-voting position at that meeting.
So like if somebody wanted to get on FCSS in the future, they could be an alternate. So besides Counselor Hutchinson, is there anybody who wants to be on that board so that in the future they could participate in that? No, Counselor Hutchinson, would you like to stay on that committee board?
Yes, I would. I've gone to a few meetings just to observe, so I
Okay.
would like to let my name stand there.
Thank you very much. And so, we don't have to vote on that if there's no, we can, yeah,
Worship,
sorry.
We need a
I just-
resolution for each committee.
Okay,
so.
yeah. So I'm looking for a resolution now that there seems to be, Counselor Chappelle.
So make that motion, your worship, if you'd allow me, and that would be that Councillor Phillips would be the appointed councillor, and that Councillor Hutchinson would be the alternate to sit on the Clearwater Regional FCSS Board.
And thank you very much. And so I'll call that to vote if there's no further discussion. Seeing none, all in favor of that motion? And no opposed, and that's carried. So 4.2.2, the Intermunicipal Collaboration Committee, the Tri-ICC. Currently on the Tri-ICC is Mayor Bache and Councillor Phillips, with Councillor Hutchinson as the alternative. So I found that a really beneficial committee. Councillor Phillips, did you want to?
I would be willing to stay on that committee.
Okay, thank you. And Councillor Hutchinson, did you want to remain as the alternative? Alternate?
Yep, I can do that.
Okay. Is there anyone else? Councillor Caprero?
Just a question. So if somebody else did want to, so just for clarification for myself, the mayor would, if it says mayor or designate, she is on that committee as well as, like, can people still put their name
Yeah,
in?
if you would like to be on, you can put your name on.
Okay.
And then we can, well, that's what the little ballot box is for,
Okay.
okay?
I'd have an interest in possibly doing that one as well.
Okay. And so Councillor Phillips, would you like to remain on, or would you like to, now that we have interest, would you like to see Councillor Caprero replace you for a term? I mean, not a term, but a year, you know, as you're on other committees, and I see she's doesn't have as much going on.
Yeah, I would be fine if Councillor Capero replaced me on that committee.
Okay. And so, with that being said, Councillor Capero, would you like to replace Councillor Phillips then on that committee?
Sure.
Okay, and so he's in agreement, so I'm looking for a motion if there's no other discussion. Councillor Chappelle.
I also make that motion, your worship, if you allow me, and that would be that you as mayor would be appointed along with Councillor Caprero, and the alternate would be Councillor Hutchinson to sit on the Intermunicipal Collaboration Committee, or known as ICC.
Try
Try.
ICC.
Sorry.
Well, that's what it always says on our emails anyways. And so there's no further discussion with that. Seeing none, I'll call that to vote. All in favor of that motion? And any opposed? Seeing none, that's carried. So then the next one is the Rocky Clearwater Intermunicipal Collaboration Committee, or the ICC/ICF. Currently, we have on there Councillor Phillips, Councillor Hutchinson, Councillor Caprero, and Mayor Bache as the alternate. So as I've expressed, I would really like to see myself back on that committee as the chief elected official. It's important that I have, you know, day-to-day dealings with what we're negotiating with the REEV and the other council. So we'll go around. Counselor Phillips, I see your light is
Yes.
on, but would
Yep.
you like to remain on the committee?
Yes, I would.
Okay. And Counselor Hutchinson, would you like to remain on the committee?
Yes, I would.
Okay. And Counselor Caprero, would you like to remain on the committee?
I would. I think the three of us that are currently on there have done really good work together, and we've gotten a lot of agreements put together, so it'd be nice to see us still work with it.
Thank you very much. And so is there anybody else that sees an interest in being on the ICC-ICF committee? Seeing none, and seeing as there's 4 of us for the position, we'll have to have a vote on that, as I would like to be on that committee.
So, your worship, we do need a resolution to have a secret ballot,
Okay.
if that's the way council wishes to go.
Well, I think we could just do it and save some time and just do it in the open, no? Or you want to do it by secret ballot?
No, that's council's decision. I'm just advising that if you want it by secret ballot, we need a resolution to do it under the MGA.
Okay. So does anybody feel that we need to do a secret ballot on this agenda item, or can we move forward? Counselor Hutchinson, your light is on.
Yeah, I would like to put that resolution forward that we do our voting by secret ballot.
Okay, thank you very much. And so do we have any discussion on that ballot, that motion? Counselor Caprero?
Just for clarification, are we putting the 3 names that we want on there, or just for like ourselves? Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the clarification. And so are there any other questions or comments over that discussion? Counselor Chappelle?
If I could, your worship, for clarification, you can put 1 to 3 names, correct? Or do you have to have 3?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure, but if you're picking 3 members, I would assume you'd wanna pick the 3 that you would like, but just like any other election, you can pick 1, or you can pick 2, or you can pick 3. You cannot pick 4.
Okay.
Okay, and so we're gonna do it as 1 vote, not 3. Last time we did it as 3, right? Okay, thank you. Just for clarification, so I will call that resolution to a vote. All in favor of having a secret ballot for this motion, and those opposed? And that is carried. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you could just get everybody just to do 1 fold, and then they're all the same?
I didn't fold mine either.
Well, this is more than 1.
You're supposed to say that before you collected them. You can't say it 3/4 of the way around the circle.
So this is for me.
Good reminder. Everybody's now shutting off their phones.
I'm sure I shut mine off.
All right, we have 1 for Counselor Caprero, 1 for Counselor Hutchinson, 1 for Counselor Phillips. 1 for Counselor Caprero, 1 for Counselor Hutchinson, 1 for Counselor Phillips. 1 for Mayor Bache, 1 for Counselor Phillips. 1 for Counselor Caprero, 1 for Counselor Hutchinson, 1 for Counselor Phillips. 1 for Mayor Bache, 1 for Counselor Caprero, 1 for Counselor Phillips. 1 for Mayor Bache. 1 for Counselor Caprero, 1 for Counselor Hutchinson, and 1 for Counselor Phillips.
that. So we have 3 votes for mayor, we have 5 votes for Caprero, 4 votes for Hutchinson, and 6 votes for Phillips. So that would be Caprero, Hutchinson, and Phillips.
So thank you very much. Do we need a resolution or is that vote? Yes, okay. So before we make that resolution, does anybody that won their position like to give it up so that I may attend the ICC committee meetings? And I'm just reminding us that as an elected officials, we're doing this not for ourselves, but for the whole community. Seeing none, I guess we need a resolution. Certainly. Would someone like to be the alternative today? Councillor Chappelle, would you like to be the alternative?
No. I am. How about yourself, your worship? Would you be the alternative?
I think
Alternative?
that I would give that up to someone else. There's 5 people who don't want to see me on there, so let's have one of those 5 go on. Councillor Auld.
Just to reiterate what you just said, it's nothing personal about what we're doing here. We are doing this for making the best decisions for our residents. If we don't like the outcome, it's not a personal issue. It is people picking the people that we feel are the best for those positions. So we are doing what we're here to do. If there's nobody else who would like to be on as an alternate, I will put my name forward.
Thank you very much. So would someone like to make a motion? Councillor Chappelle?
Thank you, your worship. If you'd allow me to make the motion. So as appointed councillors to the Rocky Clearwater Intermunicipal Collaboration Committee, the appointed would be Councillor Phillips, Councillor Hutchinson, and Councillor Caprero, with the alternate being Councillor Auld.
Thank you very much. All in favor of that motion? And those opposed? And that's carried. Okay, so moving forward, we have the Recreation and Community Services Board. Oh, sorry, I've got writing on it now. The IDP, currently on that board, we have Mayor Bache, Councillor Hutchinson, Councillor Caprero, and the alternate is Councillor Phillips. Councillor Hutchinson, would you like to remain on that board?
Yeah, I can do so.
Councillor Caprero, would you like to remain on that board?
I would like to, yes.
And Councillor Phillips, would you like to remain as alternative?
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay. And I would like to remain on that board as well. Is there anybody else who's got interest in that board as a member or as an alternative? Seeing none, Councillor
I'd like to see,
Boniface.
Councillor Shipple on that board.
Councillor Shippold on the board. Councillor Shippold, would you like to be on the IDP board? Intermunicipal Development Plan Board.
We've already got people in place. Thank you, Councillor Boniface. I think we can just move on with where we're at.
Okay, so did one of you 2 councillors want to make the motion? Does someone want to make the motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion for the intermunicipal development plan that we appoint Mayor Bache, Councillor Hutchinson, and Councillor Caprero on the committee with myself as the alternate.
Thank you very much. And if there's no further discussion, I'll call that to vote. All in favor of that motion? And those opposed, and that's carried. So the next board we come to is the Community Recreation and Services Board. And so, Councillor Hutchinson, would you like to remain on that board?
Yes, I would.
And Councillor Caprero, would you like to remain as alternative?
I'm happy to do
Or
so.
Alternate, sorry, not alternative.
I'm good with that.
Okay, so I've had a number of community members and members of the board approach me and have concerns about how the board is running. And seeing as it's one of our biggest impacts for our budget, I would like to be on that board, either as a member or as an alternative. And seeing as Councillor Hutchinson is on quite a few boards already as well, I'm just wondering if that would be possible that I could have that position.
Just for reference, that is one of the agreements that is coming up between the county and the town to review and renew. And terms of reference for the board will be discussed. So the things that you've said that the other committee members and community have spoken about the board, once the new terms of references are drafted, there will be more direction as to what that board will be doing or may not be doing.
So I would like to be part of the terms of references for the board or for the future board, is what I'm trying to say. Yes, I would like to be on that committee. So would you like to stay on the committee?
Yes, I would, especially with the waiting to hear from the Games Committee as to whether or not we will be being awarded the 2026 games. So yes, I would like to stay on the board.
Okay, so I guess we need another secret ballot, or a ballot, a vote. Councillor Chappelle.
Your worship, just a question to Mr. Kraus, if I could, and that's, we have one member sitting on this board. What would it take to put two members on that board, understanding that it is critical to our community, and is it even a possibility?
Yeah. So, your worship, so right now we have an agreement with Clearwater County that establishes the board and the membership, which is 1 and 1 plus public members. So it's written into an agreement, so we just can't arbitrarily add ourselves. So.
Fair enough. Thank you.
So I'm fine with a public vote on that. Does anybody see the need to have a secret ballot? Councillor Hutchinson?
Just for clarification, because we did make a motion originally, does that not stand for
No,
all,
we
or
have
does
to
it
do
have
it
to be
for,
separate?
we need one for each.
Okay, just checking.
Would anybody like to make that resolution? Seeing none, then I can just call that to a vote. Councillor Caprero, did you have a comment?
I was just going to make the resolution for the secret ballot.
Certainly. All in favor of that motion? And those opposed? And so that's carried, so we'll do that by secret ballot.
Sorry, just.
Do you want us to fold this time, or to,
Just for clarification, we're voting for.
one
on the
person
board.
on the
Okay.
board? And Tracy would like us to fold them in half, so they're all the same.
Can't make us one?
No origami glasses for me.
All right. One for Councillor Hutchinson. Councillor Hutchinson. Councillor Hutchinson. Mayor Beach. Mayor Beach. Mayor Beach. Councillor Hutchinson.
Okay, that is 4 votes for Councillor Hutchinson and 3 votes for Mayor Beach.
Thank you very much. So now we need a resolution for Yeah, sorry, I thought you were going to tell me no, but I'm going to keep going. Yes, so we need a resolution with someone, Counselor Phillips, or someone not on the ballot, yeah.
Sorry, Mayor, do we need an alternate for this before we make a resolution?
Yes, so it would be Counselor Caprero, unless she would like to not continue as alternate.
I would still like to stay as alternate.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll be happy to make the motion for the Recreation and Community Services Board that Counselor Hutchinson is appointed and Counselor Caprero is the alternate.
Thank you very much. All in favor of that motion? And that's carried. No opposed. Continuing further, we are now at the Rocky Public Library Board and Parkland Regional Library Systems Board. The current member on that council committee is Councillor Phillips, and the alternate, is Councillor Hutchinson for the Rocky Public Library Board only. Councillor Phillips, did you want to remain? And I'm gonna remind you if you're late.
Unless someone else is interested, I would put my name forward, but
Okay.
if someone else is interested, that's fine too.
Councillor Hutchinson, did you want to remain as the alternate, or did you want to put your name forward?
No, just as alternate, and just for clarification, that's, the alternate is only for the Parkland Regional
Oh,
Library Board.
sorry, I had it backwards.
Yeah, not the
Yeah. Sorry about that. Thank you for the clarification. Anybody else, any further discussion on that board? So I'll make the motion this time, that Councillor Phillips remain as the appointed for the Rocky Public Library Board and Parkland Regional Library Systems Board, and Councillor Hutchinson remain as the alternate. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, I'll continue forward. All in favor of that motion? And that's carried. So the next one is the School Resource Officer Steering Committee, Councillor Auld. Did you want to remain on that board?
Yeah, well, I can keep my name on that board.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else interested in being on the School Resource Officer Steering Committee Board? Oh, sorry, Councillor Boniface, did you want to remain as the alternate?
I can, that's fine. If someone else would care to step in, no, that's fine.
Okay. So with that being said, is there anybody interested in either of those positions? Seeing none, did somebody want to make a motion? Councillor Hutchinson?
I'll make the motion that Councillor Auld sits on the position for School Resource Officer Steering Committee and Councillor Boniface as alternate.
Thank you very much. All in favor of that motion? And that's carried. So now we have town committees. The Alberta Japan Twin Municipalities 2024 Conference Planning and Task Force. Currently, we have Mayor Bache, Councillor Hutchinson, and Councillor Chappelle. As we were halfway through we're almost halfway through getting our planning done. Did anybody want to change off of the board right now? Councillor Chappelle or Councillor Hutchinson? Is there anybody who would like to join that board? Perfect. So then if I could have someone make that motion.
I'll make a
Councillor
motion
Phillips?
for the AGTMA Planning Task Force to have Mayor Bache, Councillor Hutchinson, and Councillor Schiffelt on that committee.
Thank you very much. Councillor Alde, you just wanted to make the motion, right? You didn't have a comment? Thank you very much. So with no further discussion on that, I'll call that motion to a vote. All in favor? And no opposed, and that's carried. So the Anti-Racism Task Force currently has Mayor Bache, Councillor Boniface, and Councillor Auld would be the alternative. Councillor Boniface, would you like to remain on that board?
I can, but if somebody else would like to do it, we've never had a meeting in 2 years, but you never know.
Thank you very much. Councillor Auld, same question, different spot.
Yeah, I'm good to leave my name there.
Okay. Is there anybody who's interested in being on that task force committee that's not met in 2 years? No, I will remain there as well. So I'm just looking for a motion for the anti-racism task force. Councillor Chappelle? Sorry, I didn't get
Your
a
worship, also make that motion if you allow me.
Okay, thank you.
And that is that yourself, Mayor, and Councillor Boniface be appointed to the anti-racism
Racism.
task force, and that Counselor Auld be the alternate on that committee.
Thank you very much. If there's no further discussion, I'll call that to a vote. All in favor of that motion? And that's carried. So the Municipal Emergency Advisory Committee currently has Mayor Bache, Councillor Phillips, and Councillor Caprero. We usually meet once a year to go over the thing. And is that mandated? I
Your
think that's
worship.
mandated who's on there, correct?
Yeah, the mayor is mandated on this committee, so.
Okay, so, because it's mandated that I'm on there, Councillor Phillips and Councillor Caprero. Councillor Phillips, did you want to stay on the committee?
Yeah, unless there's somebody else that wants to put their name forward, I'll stay on that committee.
Thank you very much. Councillor Caprero?
Same. I'm good to stay. If someone else wants to put their name forward, that's fine too.
Thank you very much. Does anybody else have any interest on the Municipal Emergency Advisory Committee? Seeing no one, I guess we're looking for a motion at this point. Councillor Boniface?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll make the motion that Mayor Bache, Councillor Phillips, and Councillor Caprero stand for the Municipal Emergency Advisory Committee as appointed.
Thank you very much. All in favor of that motion, if there's no further discussion, and that's carried. No opposed. The MPC, the Municipal Planning Commission, we have Councillor Auld and Councillor Hutchinson with Mayor Bache as the alternative. Councillor Auld, did you want to remain on that board?
Yeah, I will leave my name stand there.
Thank you. And Councillor Hutchinson?
Yeah, I'll leave my name on there as well.
Thank you very much. And I don't mind to remain as an alternate. Councillor Chappelle, did you want to make a motion, or did you?
I'd like to let my name stand as well, please.
Okay. So Councillor Auld or Councillor Hutchinson, did either one of you want to take your name off so that you or Councillor Chappelle could be on that board?
If Councillor Schipple would like to be on there, I will trade spots with him off there. If you want to be on there.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anybody else who'd like to put their name forward to that board at this time? So now looking for a motion. Councillor Phillips.
I'll make a motion that for the MPC Commission, Councillor Schipholt, Councillor Hutchinson are the designates with Mayor Bache the alternate.
Thank you very much. No further discussion on that motion. I'll call that to vote. All in favor of that motion. And that's carried, no opposed. So the Policing Committee, currently we have Mayor Bache and Councillor Boniface with Councillor Phillips as the alternate. Councillor Boniface, did you want to remain on that board?
Yes, I would like to remain on that board.
I also would like to remain on that board. Councillor Phillips, would you like to remain as the alternate?
I was actually wanting to maybe go on the board and moving up from an alternate.
Okay. So you served on that board before, correct?
I have.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is probably the only board that Councillor Boniface is on. Did you want to take your name off one of the other boards so that he could be on a board?
I would definitely take my name off of the Cape as an alternate.
Okay, but that's not a position on a board. That's an alternate. We can do ballot. I just want to say that you're on almost every board, and this is the only board that Councillor Boniface, besides the museum board, is on. You know, and it should be that everyone divides the work amongst us, so you can't come off of FCSS, and we just
And
did the
I-
vote on the library board.
I would then rescind my name from that board then.
Okay. I mean, I'm fine to take a vote, but I'm just saying that it's the only board he's on. Councillor Hutchinson, did you want to be on the board?
No, I just wanted clarification from you said rescind your vote from the library board or the policing?
The policing. I can still stay as an alternate.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. If you'd like to stay as the alternate, I kind of looked over the list to make sure that everyone's getting, we're dividing equally amongst us as best as we can, right? So with that being said, we have Mayor Bache, Counselor Boniface, and then the alternate would be Counselor Phillips. Is there any further discussion on that? Would somebody like to make the motion? Counselor Hutchinson, did you want to make that motion? You're not listed as any of those people.
Sure, I'll make that motion.
Thank you very much. All in favor of that motion, if there's no further discussion? And those, and those opposed? So, do you want me to call that again? Yeah, all in favor of that motion? And those opposed? Thank you very much. That's carried. So the Youth Advisory Council, do we need names to stay on that if we're not doing anything for the next year?
So your worship, at least a resolution to suspend the committee for a year.
Okay.
If that's what council wants to do.
Okay. So, Counselor Alden, Counselor Caprero, and Counselor Hutchinson, do you want to agree that we'll suspend that committee for a year? Or do we want to have discussion about that further? There's only been one application out of 8 positions. Counselor Ald?
Yeah, I'm not sure if we can't get the youth to sign up for this committee, I think I'd be in favor of just suspending it for a year and relooking at it again next year.
Thank you very much. Did you want to, Counselor Caprero,
I was just gonna say the same thing. I'm okay with postponing it for a year.
did you want to make the motion then? If there's no further discussion?
Sure, yeah, I can make a motion that we suspend for a year the Youth Advisory Council.
Thank you very much. All in favor of that motion? And that's carried. I'm just gonna read myself a note. The Alberta Japan Twin Municipalities Association and Rocky Kamikawa Friendship Society, it has Mayor Bache and Counselor Chappelt. So I'd like to stay on there. That's not mandated, right? That's just something we're doing, yeah. Counselor Chappelt, did you want to stay as an alternate?
Yes, I would stay.
Okay. Is there any further discussion on that committee? Seeing none, I need someone to make a motion, please. Counselor Phillips.
I'll make a motion that Mayor Bache is the designate with Councillor Schiffel being the alternate for the Alberta Japan Twin Municipalities Association.
Thank you very much. There's no further discussion on that. I'll call that to a vote. All in favor of that motion? And that's carried. Alberta Campus Alberta Central Post-Secondary Committee. We have Counselor Chappelt with the alternate of Mayor Bache. Counselor Chappelt, did you want to remain on that board?
Sure, I'd be okay to do that if I could, your worship.
Okay. And I would be good to remain, fine to remain as the alternate. Does anybody else have any interest in that board right now? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Counselor Boniface.
I will make the motion that Councillor Schiffel is the designated and Mayor Bache is the alternative for the Campus Alberta Central Post-Secondary Committee.
Thank you very much. All in favor of that motion? And that's carried. So the next one is the Central Alberta Economic Partnership, and they're having their meeting, we haven't had one yet. They're having their meeting usually it's in December, is that right? Have you heard anything yet? I haven't seen anything yet. I know the India thing was canceled the other day, so. I would like to stay on the Cape Board. Counselor Phillips, did you want to stay on as the alternate?
Yeah, I'll stay on as the alternate, sure.
Thank you. Anybody else have any interest in that board? Somebody like to make a motion? Counselor Chappelt, he had his finger on the button.
Sorry, I'd so move, your worship, if I could. That would be to appoint yourself as mayor and Councillor Phillips as the alternate to keep.
Thank you very much. There's no further discussion about that board. I'll call that to a vote. All in favor of that motion? And that's carried. So the next one is the Central Alberta Mayors and Reeves. And so I'm on that board, and then it's the deputy mayor. So that seems to be pretty much how the board is mandated or runs. So is there any questions about that? So would somebody like to make the motion? Deputy Mayor Boniface?
I will make the motion for the Central Alberta Mayor and Reeves, that Mayor Batchers is the main and Deputy Mayor is the alternate.
Thank you very much. All in favor of that motion? And that's carried. The next one on our list is Community Futures, and currently it's Counselor Phillips, and that's the one with the training, right? Or is it
Yes.
FCSS? I got them mixed up now.
They're both high, it takes a lot to be on those boards, but this one especially it's a good 2 years before you really understand what's going on that board.
Okay, but it's not like FCSS where they've mandated some training. I mean, anybody could be on that one, right?
Anybody could be on any of our boards. There's just some that the committees prefer to have consistency because of the training that's
Okay.
required, and this is one of them.
Okay. With that being said, is there anybody still interested? I'm just opening it up. Yeah. And seeing no one, I'm looking for a motion then. Counselor Ald,
Make the motion that Counselor Phillips is the designate for Community Futures.
thank you very much. All in favor of that motion? And that's carried. So the North Saskatchewan Watershed Alliance, I've been having a lot of problems with those meetings conflicting with other things I have going on. Just wondering if somebody else would like the opportunity to be on the North Saskatchewan Watershed Alliance board. Counselor Phillips?
I was just looking, and I was just wondering if Counselor Shipple would want to move up from alternate to be on that committee.
What are the meeting dates for that? How often do they meet?
It's random all over the place, but it seems to always conflict with whatever I have going on. They've been on Fridays on Zoom. I don't know if it says anything further in the outline. I know Jenny is on that board for the county, because we touch base after the meetings.
Well, I can move my name as the designate and see what happens.
Did somebody want to be the alternate then? Counselor
Yeah,
Phillips?
I'd put my name in as the alternate for sure.
Thank you very much. So I'll make a motion that Counselor Shippold is the appointed to the North Saskatchewan Watershed Alliance, and that Counselor Phillips is the alternate. Any further discussion on that motion? Seeing none, I'll call that to vote. All in favor? And opposed? None, and that's carried. The Rocky Community Learning Council, Counselor Hutchinson is on the board, and Counselor Caprero is the alternate. I'm just wondering if, because Counselor Shippold is on the Alberta Campus Central Post-Secondary Committee, they kind of match up. Do they meet at different times, or is it all like at the same time?
The committee that Councillor Chappelle's on is a subcommittee of the Rocky Community Learning Council.
Okay.
And I have also accepted the position on the Campus Alberta Central Board, which is another step there. The Campus Alberta, what is it again?
The Rocky Learning
Central.
Council?
No, the
Council?
the
That's
C-
what we're
the-
talking about.
The CAC is the model that brings the learning to Rocky Learning Council, so it ties in together.
Okay.
There's other board members on that same board that Dale is on as well, but me being on the Campus Alberta Central Board, I will be attending those meetings anyways, that Dale's on. So. But I would like to.
Would you like your name to stand?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, perfect. And Counselor Caprero, would you like to stand as an alternate?
If Counselor Shipple would like to be the alternate, I'm okay with that. Otherwise, I am happy to stay.
Sure, I can be the alternate if that's okay. Thank you.
Sorry, I got the name down wrong. Okay, did you want to make the motion? No? Okay.
yeah,
so
I
I'll-
can.
Yeah, you do or you don't?
I can.
Okay.
I will make the motion that Counselor Hutchinson is the designate for the Rocky Community Learning Council with Counselor Shipple as the alternate.
Thank you very much. No further discussion on that item. I'll call that to a vote. All in favor of that motion? And opposed, and that's carried. So the Rocky Mountain House Clearwater County Health Professionals Engagement Team, we have Counselor Chappelle, and then there's one council designate, which we fill that position. We don't, you're,
No, so your worship, council has 2 positions on the committee.
oh, okay,
In the past, council has just designated a public member to fill that position.
okay,
But we don't have any applications for the public member, so
Okay.
probably 2 council members need to be
so I would go on that, seeing as I have a little bit of, and I think that's important to our community. Anybody else interested in being on that committee that's not already on every other committee? Counselor Boniface, I'm gonna ask you first.
I forget.
Okay, so, we could put down then Counselor Chappelle and Mayor Bache for that committee. If there's any further discussion on that item, did somebody want to make a motion for that? Counselor Boniface?
I will make a motion that Counselor Shipple and Mayor Beach stand for the Rocky Mountain House Clearwater Health Professional Engagement Team.
Thank you very much. And then we can always, if we have interest, we can fix that later, right? Yeah, we just need a resolution in the middle of the year if somebody comes along. Okay. So, if there's no other, discussion about that item, I'll call that to a vote. All in favor of that motion? And opposed? None. So that's carried. The next board is the Rocky Museum Operations Board, and we have Counselor Chappelle and Counselor Boniface. Counselor Chappelle, did you want your name to stand for that?
I'd be, if someone else wants to take that position, I'd be okay with that.
Okay. And Counselor Boniface?
Same here, somebody else would like it. Again, it's not a committee that's meeting, so.
Okay. And Mayor Bates, I'm happy to stand as alternate, or I could be replaced by someone that you haven't met at all this year? No.
So your worship, typically they just meet once a year, and it's generally in the fall, so probably fairly soon, I would think.
Okay, so somebody would like to make that motion? Counselor Phillips?
I'll make a motion that for the Rocky Museum Board, Counselor Shipple and Boniface are the designates with Mayor Bache as the alternate.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion about that motion? Seeing none, I'll call that to a vote. All in favor of that motion? And that's carried, no opposed. So the next one is the Rocky Senior Housing Council, and we have Counselor Hutchinson on there. And we don't need an alternative on that one? No. Okay, that's fine. Counselor Hutchinson, did you want your name to stand?
Yes, I would.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else with any interest to be on the Rocky Senior Housing Council? Counselor Boniface?
I'd like to see Counselor Shipple stand for this committee.
I appreciate that, but I have my name on an awful lot of committees here already, so I'm gonna opt out. I think it's in good hands with Counselor Hutchinson, so.
Okay. So I'll make a motion that Counselor Hutchinson remain as the appointed person on the Rocky Senior Housing Council Board. No discussions, so I'll call that to vote. All in favor of that motion? And that's carried. The next one is the West Central Stakeholders, and currently it's Mayor Bache. Also in attendance are staff, usually the Economic Development Officer comes, and the alternate is Counselor Chappelle. That meeting is the first Thursday of every month. It meets in Leslieville at 3 in the afternoon till 5, and then supper is provided. I often have a conflict with my physio on that day. And so, is there anybody else that's interested in attending that? It talks about what's happening in the oil field in our community, and it's sort of like what's kind of happening, and they'll talk about some of the regulations and things. Counselor Boniface?
I could stand for that committee as an alternate if Counselor Shipple would like to step up to the main, or if not, I'll take the main and he takes alternate.
I will not step up.
Yeah.
Thank you. Actually, I'd step down and suggest maybe Counselor Ald as the alternative.
Yeah, Counselor Ald, I think you questioned why the point of even meeting was. Did you want to attend a few meetings and then you can have a better perspective?
Thursdays do not work for me. I have work commitments on pretty much every Thursday.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, well, I will let my name stand for that, and then Counselor Chappelle, if you wanted to stand for the alternative, that's fine. I'll work my physio out some other way. Okay. So I'll need a motion for that, please. Counselor
I'll
Boniface?
make the motion that Mayor Beach stand as the main and Counselor Shipple as the alternate for the West Central stakeholders.
Thank you very much. All in favor of that motion? And opposed? See none, that's carried. So I think we've gone through our whole list there. Do I have to do a destruction of the ballots now? Do I have to make a motion? So I'm looking for a motion to destroy the ballots from the previous things. Counselor Ald.
I'll make the motion to destroy the ballots from our secret votes.
All in favor of that motion? And that's carried, no opposed. The deputy mayor schedule is the next item. So do we have to wait for them to do that, or they're just gonna do that later? Do we have to wait for them to, okay, thank you. So moving forward then, sorry, I'm looking for my sheet. Currently, we have, Counselor Boniface will end his, time as deputy mayor, on October 31st. And then Counselor Caprero goes from November 1st to June 30th. And then followed by Counselor Chappelle, from July 1st to February 28th. And then Counselor Hutchinson goes from March 1st until our meeting in October 2025, or the election, or whatever, however that works out. Is that when the election is, right? Yeah. Does anybody have any comments about that schedule?
Yeah, just some discussion, just regarding the deputy mayor position in general. I know the county, as part of the organizational meeting, they elect the reeve and deputy reeve. Of course, we can't do that because our mayor is elected by the public, so. But I was just wondering if there was an appetite for council to look at the deputy mayor position and make that part of our organizational meeting, and that person is voted in for the year term. And then every October it becomes something that we vote in. Just, you know, some council members may not want to do deputy mayor, some may want to. It just gives those that want to the opportunity to do it, and those that don't have to do it. I just don't know what council's thoughts would be on this, but I just thought it would be it's an important position, and, you know, maybe it should be something that's voted in every year.
Well, I think everybody does it a little bit differently, but generally, when you have a mayor and then councils, then everybody takes a term. The only difference I've ever seen when talking to other mayors has been the length of time. And that has been the biggest conversation. I think Sylvan Lake does it for 8 weeks or something like that, and they rotate more frequently. I'm fine with everybody having a turn. I think it's fair to everyone to have a turn. Certainly if someone doesn't feel that they can take on the little bit added extra responsibilities, they have a voice to say that that's not a good fit for them. How does anybody else feel? Councillor Chappelle?
Your worship, this message, or this question be to Mr. Kraus, and that's I like that idea that Councillor Phillips brought forward, but I want to know if our procedural bylaw, what do we have to make changes if in fact we were to look at it? Because I think some of us have busier schedules and some people are more prone to wanting to speak in public, and some of us probably don't want to speak in public, and I look at it as it may be something that we do look at and carry forward, but I'm just not sure procedurally how that lays out, so I'm just looking for some clarification.
So through you worship to Councillor Shipple, it's just an amendment to the procedural bylaw. So right now, the procedural bylaw establishes the system council uses, so it's just amending the bylaw to whatever council desires.
So I could put it this way, because it's today, and it starts in 2 weeks, I'm just gonna ask Councillor Capero, do you feel comfortable being the deputy mayor starting on November 1st and continuing with the schedule as it is?
I'm actually looking forward to doing it.
Okay,
So
all right.
I'm happy to do it, starting November 1st.
Okay.
Can I?
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to put your 2 cents in.
I think my only concern with changing it the way that the county does it is if there is somebody who wants to do it, they may not be given the opportunity. So I'm open to the length of the term, if that's something that we want to look at, but I do think we should follow the schedule personally, and that way if people want to have a turn, then they will have a turn.
Yeah, and if somebody on the schedule feels that they have, whatever's going on their term, Councillor Boniface, your light's on. What would you like to say?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll be honest and say I was apprehensive about taking it on. Just time commitment more than anything, but I found it very interesting. I actually had to give up and speak 3 times in front of public, which is unusual for me. I don't normally do that kind of thing. And it was fun. I liked it. So, and it didn't take a big time. So I'd like to see the schedule stay where it is, because if we were to change it now, there'd be 3 people there that may not get the chance, and I'd like to see them have that chance.
Yeah. And I'll just let Councillor Hutchinson and Councillor Chappelle, did you want to remove your name from the schedule as it is? Because we could change that now. If you'd like to, today's the day to have this conversation, or we have to wait a whole year. Or we can always have it June 28th, that week or whatever, if something happens. So we're fine with the schedule as it says. You feel that that's
Yeah,
comfortable?
and if that's council's wishes, that's fine. I just thought it's a time, this is our one time of the year to talk about how we do things, and I thought that maybe this might be something that might gain traction, and it may not, so I just
Okay.
thought I would bring it up and see what happens.
Perfect, thank you very much. So, I'll make a motion that the deputy mayor schedule, remains as, presented for the next, till the next, October meeting. Anyways, all in favor of that motion? And that's carried, no opposed. Okay, I lost my thing, here we go. So the next thing on our list is the conference, so it completes 5.1. So moving to 6.1. Yeah, I'm just checking my time. Is the conference convention schedule. So on this, it's a list of the dates of the upcoming Alberta Spring Leaders Caucus, the RMA Spring Convention, the AB Munis Summer Leaders Caucus, the Alberta Munis Fall Convention, AB Muni Spring Leader Caucus, RMA, etc. The RMA Spring Convention, it says to be determined. We need to determine that today, yes?
Your worship would be appreciated.
Yep. I'll just start at the top. Councillor Caprero, the Alberta Muni Spring Leadership Caucus, are you still available for those dates, 2024?
I am. I just have a question. So,
Yeah.
because it has the AB Muni Spring Leaders Caucus with myself and Mayor Beige, but it also has the AB Muni Summer Leaders Caucus with myself and Mayor Beige. So, are we just picking one of those two?
No, we go
We go to both of them?
We go to both. They're just one. They're usually just like the spring one is usually 1 or 2 days. Like this year, it was 2.5 because they added like a day and a half of other stuff. but it's usually like one day, and then same with the Summer Leaders Caucus, like it's usually just like one actually even afternoon. It's
Okay.
usually like, and it's because you're deputy mayor, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where is it usually held, or is it always different?
They rotate the locations, so the Spring Leadership Caucus it fell on the end or the beginning of something that was in Edmonton, right?
Yeah, your worship, so I think the last one, Councillor Boniface, or Deputy Mayor Boniface and I attended, and that was in Edmonton at the Weston.
Yeah,
And the other one, they seem to shift around the province.
it was in Didsbury. No, not Didsbury this time, it was in Delburn. So it'll be somewhere in central, like, they just rotated around.
I'm good to stay
Okay.
and do that, yeah.
Okay, just because sometimes people's schedules would have a conflict, right? So I just wanted to make sure that it was okay. And so the RMA from March 18th to 20th, is there anybody that's interested in attending on those days? Did you have a chance to look at what that looks like? Counselor Hutchinson?
I just wanted to suggest anybody who hasn't gone, I found the RMA convention was educational in the sense that the rural municipalities do things a little bit different, and they have different issues, and the resolutions are a little bit different than ours. So anybody who hasn't gone to an RMA, I definitely would recommend to go.
Counselor Phillips?
I would echo what Councillor Hutchinson just said. I
Okay.
mean, between the two, 70%, 80% of what we do is identical, but that 20% that we don't do is very eye-opening to see just how those differences play out.
Okay, so I'm
if-
looking,
I could
I'm
make
looking
it,
today for
yeah.
who would like to go.
I could make it, but also if someone else that hasn't wants to, that would be fine by me.
Okay. Counselor Hutchinson, I mean, you did the promotion for it. Now, would you like to be on it?
Well, and again, if there's others who haven't gone or wish to go,
Okay.
if not, then yes, I could as well.
This is what I'm looking for right now, is who would like to be on the committee? So is that a yes or no that you would like to be on the committee?
I said I would go
Yes.
if nobody else
Yes.
chose to.
Anybody else who would like to be on the committee? Because we can send, do we normally send two, right?
Normally, your worship.
Yeah. Okay, Counselor Capero?
I'd be willing or open to going to the RMA Spring Convention in 2025, just because I don't know if the one for 2024 will interfere with the AP Muni Spring Leader Caucus that we'll be at.
It won't.
Oh, it won't.
It won't interfere with anything,
Oh,
because we all go, right? So sometimes they take, right, Mr. Kraus? Shouldn't, it might be busy, right?
Typically, Alberta munis make sure they don't have an event on the same
Oh, okay.
date as RMA. So.
okay. I'd be open to going in 2024 then.
I'm writing a note. So, I don't mind attending as well, because we're just down to one spring convention with the RMA. They usually do two, one in November, but it conflicts with so much we have going on for budgeting because of our deadline dates. So, Mr. Kraus, would we have to make a resolution to change budgeting, or we would already have that in the budget, that we're allowed to send as many people as we want, correct?
Each counselor has their own training budget, and it'd be encompassed in that.
Okay, so, I think it'd be great if everyone that wanted to attend could attend. Of course, I don't think anybody's way over, their training budget, because it goes yearly, right?
Yeah, your worship, so the way the budget works is it's just the same amount is allowed for each counselor, and really at the end of the day, we know that some counselors are more,
going to more things.
more available for more things, I'll put
Yeah.
it. And as long as it's the bottom line, council has never exceeded that bottom line, so.
Okay, so that's perfect. So, that pretty much takes care of the first three items, 4 items, because all of council could go. Do you want to know now who wants to go to the September 25th, or can we wait till closer to those dates?
Your worship, that can wait till next year's organizational
Okay.
meeting. We just need to confirm FCM. Just to make
FCM
sure.
is not on here.
It's at the top of the sheet, your worship.
FCM is on here.
Yeah, so for
So-
2024, it's yourself and Councilor Capero, so.
I had the lines through it, so I just skipped down to the chart. So Counselor Capero, it's in Calgary, May 30th to June 2nd. Would you be interested in going to the FCM?
Yeah, I'd be available.
Yep, okay. Counselor Ald, your light is on. I'm sorry, did I miss something or?
I just wanted clarification. So we're leaving the 2024 RMA open for all of council, or do we need to actually put our names down today? Or we just, if we can make it, we go?
Well, we're putting our names down for today, but would you like to attend that?
Yeah, tentatively I would, yes.
Okay, so, and Counselor Ald would also like to attend? And then if closer to the date, it doesn't work out for anybody's schedule, Counselor Chappelle, is that something, your light is now on?
My light is on, but it's not for RMA, it's actually for the Summer Leaders Caucus that you and
Counselor Caprero going to?
Caprero, yeah, are attending.
Okay.
I'd like to put my name on that if I could.
I think that's
Can
not,
we?
that's not a problem, right? Because usually it's a mayor and a CAO or a mayor and a deputy mayor.
Yeah, so the CAO typically attends these. It's just the way council has set this up for themselves, that it's always mayor and deputy mayor, but there's no, just by resolution, you can add another name, so.
Okay, so we'll add your name and then we'll just do it all as one big resolution. Is that okay with everybody? And that is for the June one, Counselor Chappelle?
Correct, June 24.
Okay, so now I'm gonna go backtrack again. So Counselor Hutchinson, are you wanting to ask to go to the FCM?
No, back to Councillor Chappelle's question about the Summer Leader Caucus. That one last year was available by Zoom, the one day for anybody to attend. I did that one online as well, so just for information.
Thank you. Counselor Capero, your light is on. No, I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anybody because I'm backtracking now to the FCM in Calgary. So because it's in Calgary, we don't have to pay airfare. Could we send as many people as we wanted to? Just because it might be something that would be beneficial. It's May 30th to June 2nd, so it's, I don't know what days those are. I'll just look here. It's over kind of like May 2nd is a Thursday, Friday, sorry, that's the wrong month. It'd be, yeah, it's still the same. 29th, it's a Wednesday, Thursday, May 29th to June 1st. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is what it is in Calgary. And the benefit of that is there's pros and cons to it because, and anybody else wants to talk about it, feel free. It is meeting with municipalities from across Canada. And so our person right now is the mayor of Penhold, whose name eludes me.
Mike Yargo.
Thank you, Mike Yargo is our representative right now. He's on the board. And so we could have more people added and then see what the dates are look like later on. Councillor Hutchinson, you and Councillor who went to Toronto? The two of you, right? Did you want to attend this one again, or I don't know what the dates look like for you.
I would definitely love to attend these. The FCM conference gives more of a national perspective. AB Muni's focuses more on Alberta.
Yeah.
But when you go to FCM, you get that national focus and you get to speak to councillors and mayors from all across our country. And it's interesting to hear the challenges and the successes and how we can work together to lobby the federal government, not just provincial governments for things.
It's the cheapest one we'll attend because it's in Alberta, right? It's not gonna, we're not gonna have to pay airfare on top of that. So, Councillor Chappelle?
I would put my name on that. In all my years on council, I've never been to FCM. I've always thought that it was too big a picture stuff, and I hear the comments here, so let me have a look and see what it is.
It's our way
If you
that we
could.
can voice our opinion
Yep.
to the feds, right? Which is hard for municipalities to do. So I've got Councillor Campero, Councillor Phillips, and Councillor Shippold all being added to the 2024 FCM for May. And Councillor Hutchinson?
Yeah, for FCM as well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hutchinson,
If you could mark me down tentative on that as well.
certainly. Councillor Ald, for the May to June 2nd. And then if we just leave everything as it is, because that's, you know, for the other dates, is that okay? For 2025, yeah, because nothing really happens until spring. We'll have an organizational meeting in between then, and the only one that would affect would be the March 2025, so it can wait till October, right? Does that sound with enough information for administration? So seeing no other discussion, I can make the motion that we do the 2021 to 2025 conference as amended with those notes, and then proceed forward. Any further discussion on that motion? Seeing none, I'll call that to vote. All in favor of that motion? And any opposed? Seeing none, it's carried. So that's 6.1. And with that, when we talk about our schedule of council meetings, the RMA interferes with, what date does the RMA interfere with? March 19th. March 19th, we have to move to the 21st. And you can look on there, on your schedule, you see it's moved to the 21st. Just want to make everybody aware that that Tuesday meeting, and we need a resolution, right, Mr. Kraus?
Yeah, Your
Or
Worship,
just accept this.
Adopt the calendar as presented.
Okay, so I did want to point that out. I have it on my notes from when we met on Friday, that to accept. Now, the other date that I wanted to discuss is Tuesday, January 2nd. If council would feel comfortable to not have a council meeting on Tuesday, January the 2nd. Monday is a holiday, and when Mr. Kraus and I discussed, there's usually so little things on that meeting, it would help staff to prepare for the next one. Yeah, okay. Just, don't want to speak for you, but that's the discussion we had. So if council feels comfortable with not having that January 2nd meeting, we'll decide that now as well. Councillor Caprero?
I am okay with that.
Yeah. Is anybody opposed to removing that January 2nd?
No, not opposed, just looking for clarification. So would we just have the one meeting on the 16th of the month and that's it? Or would we just shuffle everything by a week?
So, the committee of the whole, we have items to discuss already in January, right? But we don't need, like, that would just stay as a committee of the whole meeting and then only have the 16th, right?
Yeah, I'm fine with that, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for asking that clarification, because I actually forgot to ask about the committee of the whole. So everybody's fine with removing the 2nd, and then they're aware that the 21st shuffles for the RMA convention, and the FCM doesn't affect anything on the thing. So, did you want to make a motion?
I will, I just had a quick question on if we were looking at changing the time of the meeting, are we doing, that would be something in our procedural bylaw?
Yeah, we can do that next.
Okay.
We're just figuring out
Yep.
our date so far.
All right, I would make the motion to accept the 2024 schedule as presented,
As amended?
as amended, pardon me.
No problem. Any further discussion on that motion? Seeing none, I'll call that to a vote. All in favor of that motion? And opposed, and that's carried. So I'm gonna put an X on that day. And the 21st is already moved. Okay, so the schedule of council meetings is completed. And before we start doing the bylaw review, I was just wondering if we could take a 10-minute break now rather than we get started on the bylaw review and then break. So I'll just call a 10-minute recess and then we'll continue after. So, welcome back to the organizational council meeting for October 17th, 2023. I'm going to make a motion to recess the meeting until the conclusion of the regular council meeting, which is scheduled at 2:30. Is anybody opposed to that motion? So I'll call that to a vote. All in favor of that motion? And that's carried. So now the meeting is now recessed until the conclusion of the regular council meeting for today.